wherever you may be. Welcome to the One Perspective to Another podcast. I'm your humble and gracious, highly favored, in love with life, no complaining host, A. Sanders, here with another live Black History Month podcast, evergreen content. Hope everybody's doing well. We in week 7 of Ross Fit. We are in week 7 of the grind. We are in week 7 of just getting shit done, getting shit on task, being accountable, being in charge of you, not complaining about the fuck shit. And this episode is going to be just about my Dear Black Man poem and just some humble words. Because next week's episode is going to be about relationships and insecurities and just the good stuff that people always want to learn about, because it's Valentine's Day next week in love. Everybody wants to be in love. So we're going to dive into that. But without further ado, it's Black History Month. Shout out to all the Black people out there in the world. Last week I did my poem about Dear Black Women. So this week I'm doing it on Dear Black Men. And I'm just going to get right into it. And I will be reciting it right now. Dear Black Man, I am you. I love you. Cut from a different cloth, destined to play your part. Viewed as many things negative, very few see the positive in us. Perception is not always reality. The subtlety of the simplest of colors of our skin. On certain days we carry pain and fear, when all we want is to be treated near and dear. It's okay to let your emotions show. We are all haunted by the same demons. It's why we must be better than the rest. It's always a test. We will not fail. I've seen dreams become physical. I've seen intangibles become mantras. So it's nothing you can't do. It's nothing we can't do. Break the box. Break the rules. Create your own. Stand tall in being a good man. Respect yourself. Respect your family. Respect your queen. Remember that balance is key. And that's the end of the poem or saying about to the black man. I also noticed that I'm starting to say a lot now. I'm trying to get back in the mode of not saying anything, because I used to pride myself on not saying or but it's been a while, and I just do my podcast and grind them out without any edits, because I wanted to make it consistent and be on task and whatnot, but I must work on that. But anyway, back to Black history and being a black man. It's just talking aloud and saying all the things that I go through, that black men go through, dealing with the police, dealing with society, dealing with people belittling you, dealing with people seeing you as an animal. And it's weird when you think about all the things that I know and think about of how the perception of the world sees you as a black man, especially when you're a black man traveling. It's different when you're a black man in a different area. If you're in the South, if you're in the East, if you're in the West. The same way women have to protect their safety, the same thing goes for men in understanding their surroundings. I remember my mom used to always tell me that, be aware of your surroundings, because you never know. She used to always tell me, one go, you all go. And that is, I feel like certain people always want to compare and contrast. It's not a compare and contrast, and we all have things that we have to be aware of. And it's not one is worse or one is better than the other. It's just communicating that this is what I experience. This is what I go through. These are the things that may trigger me, that may bring me fear, that may bring me positive vibes. It's all one and the same. So just did it again. Just saying it aloud to the world, to the public, that they know these kind of things, that it's a different age and you got to assimilate. And the goal, like I said in the first podcast about Black History Month, like I've always been a firm believer in Martin Luther King and The goal has always been for us to just see each other as men and women with our culture. It's not about the melanin in our skin. It's not about white, black, blue, blonde hair, blue eyes, black hair, brown eyes. The list goes on and on. Mutations of color and pigments and whatever the fuck it is. At the end of the day, when you go into a higher perspective, we all got one heart, one soul, and one mind. And I really don't see no difference in that. We all treat each other how we want to be treated. I feel like it's more discrimination in the way we treat each other than it is the way we see each other in our skin. But that's a generational thing. That's something that's taught. That's something that's a part of you. It's really hard to understand sometimes when you just are in it and then you take a step back and look at the world and say it's been 250 years in America, but why are we still experiencing this same shit? A lot of questions, a lot of just thoughts, but I just continue to live my life the best way that I know how. I try really hard not to see it. You got to live your life the way you want the world to be later on. So, of course, there's things that I still deal with that irritate me, that bring me anger, that anger me, that piss me the fuck off, that I deal with day to day of people just walking down the street being ignored, feeling like I'm threatening, getting harassed, or being somewhere and feeling uncomfortable, or being like I'm in an episode or a movie of Get Out. And those are all real things that black men, black women go through. And it's not something that I feel is always talked about. The story or the narrative that's always talked about is, oh, this is racist, oh, this is that. But I don't want that to be that. I want it to be real people's experiences. I want it to be real people's thoughts and their stories, because it's all about storytelling. It's all about getting word and knowledge out there for people to change, for you to go through it. So if it's something that you've experienced, if it brings you light, tell it to somebody. It ain't even got to be me. It ain't got to be about this podcast. Just give your story to somebody so they can understand you a little bit better. And it seems like it's deja vu. Shout out to the full moon. Yeah, just tell your story. And even if you ain't in that realm or you don't understand, do research, figure shit out. It's been a time in the beginning of the year, like everybody's getting off their resolutions and getting back into regular life, and as January was so long, and they going right back into their cycle of complaining and bitching and not understanding what's really going on. You got to take the time to just slow the fuck down and look at your life and prioritize things that are important. With all this Kobe news and his passing, like people wanted to act like they were doing the right thing. It lasts for a short amount of time, but consistency is always the key, like I say. How long till they lose it? How long till they start treating people differently? How long till they start treating people how they did before? The narrative changed. The presidents changed. Everything's changing. So what are we doing to make sure that it gets right, that it gets done correctly? And that brings me back full circle to the black man story. I'm doing my best to play my part and do my role and provide perspective in my emotional intelligence, my situational awareness, and just understanding people and understanding life. And at the end of the day, it's just to make sure that you help one another. You help people get across, because sooner or later, you're going to be on the other side of that thing trying to get across too. But that's just my mantra. That's my intangibles in my soul and my world. It gets me to where I am now. I get to go to sleep and rest and not have a care in the fucking world. And that's peace. Peace is important. And especially Black History Month, being a black man and finding your peace is very important. It's of the utmost importance. So yeah, it's going to be a short episode this week. Just freestyling. I hope everybody's having a magical week. CrossFit is continuing. Poetry is continuing. The book is continuing. The production company is continuing. We're getting this shit done. We're knocking shit out. Gonna finally open up the store. Get a at least a hat and shirt and a hoodie out for OPTA. Been really doing research on this stuff and just trying to figure out the logistics and the behind the scenes and what's best for me. And it's a process, and I'm taking my time, but I'm enjoying it because I never expected to do any of this kind of shit, and I'm just along for the ride. So, as always, it's just my perspective. Make sure you tell 2 friends to tell 2 friends. And as always, we'll catch you on the flip side. Up next is a sleeper. I don't know yet, but I'm going to put it in there. And it's probably playing right now, and I hope you like it. And I'll catch you on the flip side next week. I'm out.
I know something you don't, that's me coming for you. You want war, we got war, we just wanna warn you. I know something you don't, that's me coming for you. You want war, we got war, we just wanna warn you.
War for war, bodies that hit the ground. You ready for us, cause it's about to go down. Push them to the left, push them to the right, load the choppers up, hit them on sight, never turning back, I'd have been in hell and back. Me running out of guns, no, never heard of that. I ain't never ran from a gunfight. This is you and me, mano y mano, you're damn right.
Don't act like you don't know what I came for. Too late to turn back. This is the payback. Yeah, you take one, I take one. You can't hide, you can't run. Too late to turn back. This is the payback. Yeah.
Respiratory begging for relief. I don't let them breathe. Going hard, I'm my own boss. Many ain't believe I'm filling out an item, appearing up out of thin air. Conquer everything that's in front of me. Now they under me, rushing me to respond. Stay straight away, how a tunnel be. Took a leap of faith, bungee cord about to give out. Nowadays, whatever you say, you gotta live out altitude. Having parachute failure, we got a problem. Throw a set of wings or die when you hit the bottom. Never pray to God, but never too late to try it. Shots fired, Allen Iverson in the league. They say I ball hog and I'm not a part of the team. Breadwinner with these winners built the regime. Taliban, weapon in hand, kill everything. Amphetamines, alter the state of a better means. I'm beautiful, but known for the dope like Medellin.
Don't act like you don't know what I came for. Too late to turn back. This is the payback. Yeah, you take one, I take one. You can't hide, you can't run. Too late to turn back. This is the payback. Yeah, don't act like you don't know what I came for. Too late to turn back. This is the payback. Yeah, you take one, I take one. You can't hide, you can't run. Too late to turn back. This is the payback. Yeah.
Dressing all black like a funeral. Murder, homicide, on the ride, get the residuals. Letting off 5 for residuals. 365 when I grind for residuals. 45 magnum in the van with them. Rather tell and let the blame him. I scream fuck the whole world and put a bomb in the finger on the trigger, trying to put my whole arm in. I just want revenge, I just want revenge. We get it poppin', they took away my happiness, they tryna take my head away. You want that money, you want that gram, I'm out there causing us harm.
Don't act like you don't know what I came for. Too late to turn back. This is the payback. Yeah, you take one, I take one. You can't hide, you can't run. Too late to turn back. This is the payback. Yeah, don't act like you don't know what I came for. Too late to turn back. This is the payback. Yeah, you take one, I take one.